You've probably done this before. You find a free AI video tool, you sign up, you generate your first clip, and for a moment, it actually feels like you've cracked the code. Free, unlimited, no watermarks, solid quality. And then about 10 minutes later, the reality kicks in. A credit wall, a daily cap you didn't see coming, a watermark hiding in the corner, or worse, you come back the next day and the free tier is just gone. That last one happened twice while the original research for this video was being done. Two tools that were genuinely free a few months ago are now sitting behind paywalls, but the YouTube videos recommending them are still ranking at the top of search results, collecting views and sending people to dead ends. That is exactly why this video exists. Today, I'm walking you through 10 free AI video tools that are actually being talked about right now in 2026, what they actually deliver, what catches are hiding inside them, and the 3 that genuinely passed every test without pulling any tricks on the way in. So let's get into it. Before we start, let me define what free actually means for this video, because the word gets used in some pretty creative ways in this space. Free does not mean you get 3 clips and then a paywall appears. Free does not mean credits that vanish with no clear refresh date. Free does not mean the tool technically generates something, but it takes 45 minutes of fighting the interface before anything useful comes out. For something to count here, it needs to be something you can actually build a real workflow around without constantly hitting walls. That's the standard, and by that standard, most of these tools don't make it. Let's start with the ones that don't. Vids and Grok's native video tools are the easiest ones to cut. Vids used to be a legitimate free option. Right now it isn't. The model flipped to paid, and there's no real free tier worth working with anymore. Grok's native video is too locked down on the free side to be worth recommending as a standalone install. That said, the Grok video model itself is still accessible for free, just not through Grok directly. That answer is coming later. Now here's one that genuinely stings to cut. Google Vids. This tool is legitimately impressive. It's not just a video generator sitting on a page, it's a full production workspace with VEO 3.1 built directly inside it. You can generate clips, drop them onto a timeline, add transitions, layer in text, record voiceover, all in one place. The output quality is among the best in this entire comparison, and there's no watermark on what comes out. If Google Vids had an unlimited free tier, it would probably be the #1 recommendation in this video without any competition. But the free limit sits at around 10 generations per day, and that number sounds reasonable until you actually try to use it. 10 generations is not 10 finished clips. You generate one, and the camera movement is off. You try again, the lighting improves, but something else is wrong. You tweak the prompt and go again. You've burned through half your daily allowance before you have a single clip you'd actually use. So Google Vids is excellent quality, sitting behind a limit that makes real work basically impossible. Keep it in mind if you only need a couple of high-quality clips occasionally. Don't plan a full workflow around it. Next up is BytePlus, which connects to the SeaArt playground, and I want to give this one a fair look because the quality genuinely is excellent. At 720p with 5-second clips, there's a meaningful amount of free output available before the credits run out. There's also a trick inside the platform that isn't obvious. When one model exhausts its credits, you can switch to a different model and pull from that model's separate credit pool. So if you're careful about how you set things up and you rotate between models strategically, you can stretch the free tier further than it first appears. The real problem is what happens after that. Once you've worked through the credits across everything available, the platform essentially stops working for you, and the credit refresh timeline has no published schedule, no countdown, no notification, no clear policy. It sometimes comes back in a week, sometimes it takes much longer. Nobody tells you when. So BytePlus works great right up until it doesn't, and then it's just a website you can't do anything with. Quinn runs into a similar pattern. The interesting thing about Quinn is that the chat functionality and the video generator share the same interface. You can write a prompt, ask the tool to improve it, generate an image from it, and turn that image into a video without ever switching tabs. For someone who finds prompt writing frustrating, that integration is genuinely useful. But the daily cap is tight enough that you run into it fast. It's a good tool for occasional generations and for getting prompt help. It's not a main workflow. Arena is the strangest case in this list. It's a platform where major AI companies put their models up for public testing. In video mode, you enter a prompt and get 2 anonymous outputs from top-tier models. You vote on which is better, and then it reveals which models you were comparing. The quality can be genuinely higher than anything else you'd see for free. But the daily limit is so small that you can barely run a real comparison before you're locked out. Think of it as a luxury sample counter. You get a taste of something impressive, but you can't build anything serious with a sample. Then there's the Tencent Hunyuan video, which came closer to the top 3 than anything else that didn't make it. The output quality is competitive with bigger paid models. There's background audio generated alongside the video. There's a director mode that actually improves your prompt in a way that feels tuned specifically to what this model responds to. There's no real daily cap on generations, just a rule that you can only run one at a time. That's a workflow you can actually operate inside. The reason it's not in the top 3 is the interface. It's in Chinese and doesn't translate cleanly through a browser. Some buttons don't make sense if you can't read the language. The login process has a verification step that isn't obvious the first time. None of it is impossible, but for a top recommendation, having to figure it out is already a problem. If you're willing to work through that friction, Hunyuan is genuinely strong. But it's not a clean enough experience to recommend without caveats. So that's 7 tools, each with a different way of eventually letting you down. Before I get into the 3 that actually passed, quick ask. If you've been burned by a tool that was free last month and isn't anymore, drop the name in the comments. I'm actively tracking which ones are flipping and which ones are holding, and your comment helps make the next version of this video more accurate for everyone watching it 6 months from now. Okay, here are the 3. The first is Meta's AI video generator. Depending on where you're accessing it, you might see it labeled as Vids or Muse Spark. Same tool. This was the cleanest free experience in the entire test. In most regions, the output has no watermark, or if there is one, it's small enough that you'd only notice it if you were specifically looking. Over the testing period, more than 30 images and around 40 videos were generated without hitting a single slowdown, daily cap, or payment prompt. No throttling, no credits quietly draining in the background. What makes Meta stand out beyond the lack of limits is how much the platform covers. Images, text to video, image to video, generating 4 images in a single prompt, vertical and horizontal orientations, custom animation where you specify exactly how you want the image to move, and restyling existing content, all of it in one place and all of it free. The workflow that produced the best results was image first, then animation second. Generate an image you actually like, then animate that specific result rather than jumping straight to video from a text prompt. You get significantly more control over the outcome that way. The second recommendation is TikTok Symphony Creative Studio. I want to be upfront about what this tool is and isn't. If you put it head-to-head with Meta on cinematic horizontal video, it loses. It's vertical only. There is a watermark, and it's real. If that was the whole picture, it wouldn't be here. What Symphony actually is a complete social video production platform that happens to be free. Log in with a TikTok account, and you get text-to-video, image generation, image-to-video, image editing, an AI avatar library that's larger than what most paid tools offer, multiple voices and accents across a long list of languages with working lip sync, and an internal editor where everything comes together. But the feature that genuinely surprised me is the product video tool. You upload a product image, and Symphony builds a complete avatar review video around it. The product stays visible on screen, stays consistent throughout, the avatar discusses it, the lip sync works, and the whole thing comes out ready to post. For free. The third recommendation requires the most careful framing, and it also gives you access to the most powerful cinematic output on this entire list. Gemini Gen is a third-party platform. It is not Google, even though the name causes confusion. What it does is route you to certain video models through configurations where the credit cost to you is 0. Throughout 3 full weeks of testing, 2 models stayed consistently available for free without dropping off or getting downgraded. Those 2 models are VEO 3.1 Fast and the Grok video model. Using it is straightforward. Go to the Studio section, pick your model, and check the credit cost before generating. Some configurations show 0 credits. Use those. There's also a status page that shows which models are currently working. It's worth checking before you set anything up. The reason this is recommendation number 3, rather than number 1, comes down to stability. Meta and Symphony are owned and operated by the companies behind them. They're not going anywhere. Gemini Gen is here because of what it gives you access to right now. It's a third-party platform that depends on the free tiers of the underlying models it connects to. Things can change. Use it, but don't build a workflow that completely falls apart if it shifts. Now here's what I need from you before you close this tab. If this video saved you from wasting time on something that looked free and wasn't, hit subscribe. Because this channel exists specifically to track what's actually working right now, not what worked 6 months ago when someone else filmed their version of this video. Every tool on this list gets rechecked. When something changes, you'll know before you waste a morning finding out for yourself. Second, there's a video linked on screen right now that goes deeper into building an actual AI video workflow from scratch using only free tools, not a roundup. A step-by-step build. If you want to go from knowing which tools work to actually producing content with them, that's the next step. Go watch it. And if you've already got a tool that belongs on this list, or one that used to be free and just quietly disappeared, put it in the comments. The research for this channel is ongoing, and the best tips consistently come from people watching these videos who are in the tools every single day. That comment takes you 30 seconds. It might save someone else 3 hours. Drop it down there. See you in the next one.